All right, everybody, we're now live. This is tonight's Bigfoot Christmas podcast. We're here. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna go over, just cover a few things, and then just let it go from there. Have some open discussion or whatever. I'm glad, Shane and Henry. I'm glad you guys were able to come in tonight. So I'm glad you guys are here.
You gotta show that face of yours.
My face. Why you missed my handsome face? I'm sorry.
It's for Victor.
Oh, really?
Victor.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, he found himself a date, so
Yeah, he did.
Oh, you jealous?
Speaking of Victor, he did send me. I finally got his Christmas CD today. So
okay,
yeah.
What exactly is that?
The first one he sent me had a crack in it, so it wasn't useful. So he sent me another one. It's just Christmas songs and Christmas things like that. It's pretty good.
Oh, so he's singing the Christmas songs?
No.
Oh, okay. As long as he wasn't doing no dance moves, doing jingle bells. No. All right. Tell you what, let me pull something up here. I thought I'd share this real quick with you guys. Let me see if I can find it. I know I got it here. Shaky and Donna, how you doing tonight?
Doing good.
All right. Let's see. Where the heck did it go? I guess it would be under my screenshots here. Where'd it go? Now, when I get to this, I'm going to read this. I want to read this for everybody. And I'm not going to say who it's from or who it's by. But I want everybody's honest opinion about this. All right. Just bear with me here. I do have this information. There it goes. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in, and this is just out of a book. This is random. This is not in no particular order, but this is just some words out of this book. And now keep in mind, so you understand, the book is referring to Bigfoot. All right, here it goes. The first meeting with them, Bigfoot, is when they took me to their world. He told me, I guess one of the particular Bigfoots, he told me he was taking me to their realm and wanted to show me. He said they were a peaceful type. Yeah, they were a peaceful type people. That's exactly how it's in the book. Let's see. Yeah, peaceful type of people that are our protectors and the protectors of the woods. He told me that he could go between dimensions, and I could too. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. I think. Oh, okay. And then he said, I saw a place that looked like ours, but the sky was all red. I thought it might be hell, so I woke up from it. I was shaken by what I saw. I think it might be our future world. The next time I get a message from them, it had rained all week, and then the Bigfoots had left. They had broken up a log and made it into an arrow. The arrow pointed to where they went to. It was an awesome sight to see. Them leaving them things to see, for me to see. It was placed at the edge of the woods where they stayed at night. All right. I'm not going to read no more into this right now. There's more to the page, but I don't know if you gathered anything from that. I don't know what you guys thought about just from those few words I read out of that book. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to mention. You guys probably don't know who it is anyway, but I just thought I'd get your honest opinion about it. And of course, looking down on the panel right now, I'm looking at Shane. I was wondering, Shane, what do you think about that?
What kind of drugs are they taking? Because I would love some.
Hey, this just got
My thoughts
published from.
exactly.
Okay. Okay. I like that. I like that. I mean, you sure you don't? I mean, it's $12.95. You sure you don't want a signed autograph from this guy?
$13 for that. I can go into the woods, get some mushrooms, and have the same kind of experience for free.
Oh man. Oh Lord. What about you, Henry?
Well, it sounds like something old Kawani would write. That's what
Right.
it sounds like.
Oh.
Kawani lapsaritis.
I'm not familiar with that.
Well,
I will.
he has.
I will share the information afterwards, but I just want to get y'all's opinion before I share who it is. So.
Okay. Well, he has been one of the more infamous individuals who believes that these creatures do travel in and out of dimensions, and that they are more. He calls them people. You know, he says that they are a spiritual people. And all this stuff.
Right.
I don't know. I'm trying to be as generous as I can. You know, I'm
Oh,
trying.
absolutely.
I'm trying to be as non-controversial as I can. Yeah, right. Yeah, I put up a post about E.C.B.R.O becoming the Bigfooter of the Year, Daniel Perez's newsletter, and that's being non-controversial. Okay.
Well, actually, yeah. Well, actually, I was gonna bring that up afterwards, at some point, because that was actually pretty good. Because I first learned about that through Twitter, but I guess we can come back to that in a little bit. But
I don't know. This, I mean, this sort of thing. I mean, I try to be as respectful as I can to people who have these different beliefs about what Sasquatch are and all this stuff. We'll just say that I don't agree with this. I don't agree that I don't think we're dealing with a species that goes in and out of dimensions. I don't think we're dealing with a species you can just go to their realm or something like that. I mean, what is this, Lord of the Rings? Are we going to
well, let's see. Let me see if I could scope off a little bit more of this other page. Well, I don't have the complete page to read this. Okay. No, I don't have the whole page on that one. I do have another whole page. Here we go. Let me read a little bit more here. This he goes on to say, I can't remember much, but I remember walking with them and them leaving me with the word they had been trying to tell me. The word is, I don't even know how to pronounce it because it's just letters. Cryphon, I think is the name. It's what it's called. It's CRFYN, and I've seen this when he posted something about this before, and I looked it up. I did a Google on it, and he actually adds the Google definition in here. He said the acronym Cryphon has a life path number 3. The life path number 3 implies that you possess numerous abilities and have a positive nature with an awesome readiness to learn. Which, according to Google, or that what you look up, it's actually that is accurate information according to what Google says.
What's the origin of the word?
Origin?
Yeah.
As far as, what do you mean? Like, where it originates from?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't know. I'm just reading what he has right here. I mean, it's on my phone without Google. Unless I do a Google search, I can get more information on it. But yeah, Cryphon. It's all in capital letters. CRFYN. Yeah, that's the one word is what he's saying that Bigfoot said to him. Then he goes on to say, they once again come to me in my sleep a few days later. Oh, for the record, and I guess he left this part out because I seen this in original post. This word "Kryphin" is actually what he claims had been said to him through his dream from the Bigfoot. All right. He said, I go back out to their den and they showed me another word. And here's the other word, denoid, or if I'm saying it right, denoid. Denoid. He said they let me go see what else. Let's see, hold on.
Avoid denoid? Avoid denoid?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He said this time, hold on. Though my body was wanting to go back and they didn't want me to, but I was able to get back into my body. This time I saw myself laying there and the dog snoring and my wife sleeping.
Okay, so he
What?
was abducted by aliens as well, right?
That's what
Yeah,
it
he's
sounds
not
like.
saying that. He's not saying that. This is
It
all
sounds
everything
like
that's
he's
happened.
saying he's been abducted.
Basically, yeah. Actually, that's basically that's what he's saying. But now, me and Shaky had him on the radio show. We questioned him about a lot of stuff, and I don't even know where to go with this. I mean, to be honest with you, but I don't think he not once recalls mentioning anything to do with aliens. But yeah, he speaks very spiritual when it comes to Bigfoot. Um, I could get him on here if you guys want to question him. Shaky said no. Well, for the record, his name is Mr. C. Wayne Wilson. Yeah, Wayne Wilson is his name. And yeah, this book right here for $12.95. I think it's got 18 pages. So yeah. So
that's not a book, that's a pamphlet.
well, that's kind of like what I did with mine. I got 32 pages, and my first book was only a guide. It wasn't I wasn't trying to write a story in that or explain it. It was just a basic guide, But and I have it set as low as they allow me to set it on the link that I use, which is $9.50. But yeah, $13 for 18 pages for this story or his information that he's sharing. That he's claiming that's really happened to him. I know what, like I said, I know when me and Shaky, we were being cool with him. We were being, like what you were saying, Henry. I mean, we're trying to be, we weren't trying to, I guess you could say bust his ball. We were trying to be polite, and we just wanted answers. That's all we were after. We wanted answers. We were trying to get a clear explanation out of it, just so we could have a better understanding. And that's all we did. But I guess I don't know. It's just one of those things that.
There's a lesson to be learned here.
Yes.
The lesson is don't eat mushrooms before you go to bed.
Oh my! Yeah,
Wow.
that's actually a good one. Tell you what. Well, so I just wanted to get that little thing out of the way real quick. Hey, I'm trying to message Buck Nye. Buck Nye is trying to get on here, but he's having technical difficulties here. It says it only works in desktop mode, whatever that means. I'm not computer friendly. Yeah, what do you know about that, Shane?
Desktop mode means like laptop. You're gonna have to do it in mobile.
Okay. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. Desktop.
Is it on his phone? Or was it on his computer?
I don't know. He does have a computer where he normally sits in front of his computer, I think. All right. It says you need to be on this or whatever. Okay. All right. I'll see what he says after that. His fiance, I think she's trying to help him get on there. So I don't know. They're working on it, so we might. I don't know. He might surprisingly jump on. Let me go to the live chat real quick because I know there's a few things. There's questions, though. Like I said, there's questions. I didn't want to jump on the questions quite yet. Let's see. Give me a second. I do want to do a couple minor screen shares here, so let me go over there and get them real quick. Because I wanted to bring. There's a couple things I wanted to bring up for get for some discussion here. And I see Buck Nye. He's actually messaging me now. I see him typing. On the laptop, and I did click. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, he said he's on his laptop, and he said sorry it's not working for me. Well, that's a bummer. I wish I knew more specifically what he is trying to do. So, here's something. Let me start off by sharing this here. This is interesting. I'm sure you guys are already well aware of this. Let me do a screen share here. Now, I know this has been out before. This has been a season episode before, but I want to know. I don't know what exactly you guys think about this year, which is coming back out in 2017.
Oh, killing Bigfoot. Well,
It's got a lot of likes.
Yeah, it does apparently, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's of high quality. Yeah, I a couple of years ago, I was what they call pro specimen or pro kill.
Yeah.
But I've really, I do tend to change my opinions sometimes. People have known me to do that, but I've just gotten, I realized, and I was talking to John Kirk about it. He says that there are ways to get the evidence and maybe even get proof without having to kill a specimen. It's not just Sasquatch, but it's with other animals.
Right.
So.
No, I mean the whole point of the show. I'm trying to understand it too, though. I mean, are they literally out to try to kill a Bigfoot just to kill one?
Yeah.
It's basically a ripoff of Finding Bigfoot, only they're going to try and kill one.
Ah, gotcha.
And the GCBRO, there was one time they actually gut shot a Sasquatch, and they tried to they collected some blood samples that they found, and I think they had them tested. I'm not quite sure exactly what the results were of that.
Now the I think they did a special a few months back or a year back.
Mm-hmm.
And they never really picked up on it. I'm surprised they're actually picking back up on it again.
Right.
Now this dude is real deal. He it's something like Finding Bigfoot in my opinion. I just heard an interview with him. He's got things set up that if he gets one, he's got places he's going to take this thing, and they're not out just to shoot one. And this is when I'm not against killing anything to prove it exists, but their thing is they are after a animal that is a nuisance animal. They're going to cause for these things that are killing livestock, killing farm animals, killing people's pets or causing people problems. Reasoning behind it. They're not out just hunting one to kill to prove it exists. They're out. They're going to cause for these things that are really causing people havoc. And in the process, if they can take one and prove its existence, that's what their goal is.
Right.
Yeah, well, this is the GCBRO, the Gulf Coast Bigfoot Research Organization, and their stated purpose has been to prove to science that these creatures do exist, and they figure if that means killing a Sasquatch, then that's exactly what it means. You know. Hey, this pro-kill, no-kill debate has been going on, for many years in the Bigfoot community.
Yeah.
What is the moral dilemma of killing something to prove it exists? And there have been many advocates for and against killing a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
More recently, one of the more recent advocates of taking a specimen is Kathy Strain, and she is very, very adamant that yes, we do need to take a specimen.
Yeah, I believe we do. I think we need a specimen because with the specimen we can actually dissect it and everything, so that we can see if it's human, like some of these people claim, or to see if it's an animal.
Well, I'll
Or
just
see if it
say
might be the
this.
missing link.
I'll just say this.
Yeah.
I don't think we should kill one, but I mean, I personally, myself, but I will not get mad if somebody does bring one in. If somebody does shoot and kill one to get the evidence, then I'm not going to get mad at that person. We'll just put it that way.
Okay. Yeah. Oh man, I kind of lost my train of thought real quick because there's something you said that brought something else up. Maybe it'll come back to me, but meanwhile, till then, welcome Baltimore. I see Baltimore's online. What do you think about all that, Baltimore, as far as the show Kill and Bigfoot, and where do you stand when it comes to kill or no kill when it comes to a Bigfoot?
I kind of disagree with that. Why kill an animal just to prove that it exists? That's murder.
Yep.
Right.
I kind of feel a life is a life. If it's a deer, we kill it for its meat, and why would we prove that it's
Whoa.
real? So many people have actually seen it. To me, that's proof enough because I've seen it, and to
Right.
me, that's all the proof that I need that it's real.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. But then, I agree not to kill one at all. I believe there's circumstances, but then again, I have to agree with with what Shane and Henry were saying as far as, yeah, we do need a specimen like a body to actually do the proper, research to compare all these so-called samples that some of these scientists or whoever is trying to study them. But I believe that this is one thing, and I've shared this before. I always thought if I came across a body or possible remains of one, that would be something that would be awesome right there. Now, as far as killing one, I will say, if I was forced to defend myself, then yeah, then we're talking about a different story. Like just like any other wild animal. If one attacks you, if you have the means to defend yourself, yeah, go for it. But yeah,
Right.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't kill. I don't believe in killing just to kill, because then again, that whole situation could go wrong in many ways. You know, what if the government gets involved and you start sharing the information and hey, look what I got, guys. But then before you get to really show it, it's something it mysteriously disappears. Then you're kind of left screwed and like, oh crap, what am I going to tell everybody that I got here and it's not here no more? you know. So I don't know. Those
Well,
are different thoughts I've constantly came up about. What if you do get a hold of something? And what if somebody intercepts it? That's what I think about too.
and also you have to think about the dilemma: is it human? Is it ape? Is it the guy in a suit?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things you have to think about. You have to think about what you're shooting at.
Right. Exactly.
You don't want to shoot a guy who's messing around. You don't want to shoot a guy who's screwing around in a gorilla suit or a Bigfoot suit. But if it there's the dilemma. If the creature turns out to be more human-like, then you've committed homicide. That's one thing John Kirk has said.
But see, the thing is that there's no base, there's no core base to actually prove that they're actually human. So we need a
Right.
specimen
I
to
agree.
have that base, have that core base in that database.
And one thing to keep in mind, the the whole, what do you call it, ape versus human dichotomy. Well, humans are apes. We are primates.
Right.
We are just like the great apes. So really, I mean, that dilemma. I mean, it really should. To be quite honest, it should be no dilemma. I mean, for those who want to bring a specimen in.
Oh, I think part of what I wanted to bring up, some of it came back to me. More and more we get into this, it kind of reminds me more. But Melba Ketchum, it seems like she's slowly starting to emerge back into the picture a little bit. I don't know if anyone's been paying attention to any of the posts or anything new, but I've been seeing stuff from her or about her recently. I don't know. Right, one of the latest posts I've seen right now, she's asking people about their opinion of sightings regarding Dogman, and I've gotten questioned earlier today. Say somebody want to know my opinion about Dogman, and I shared that information. But I don't know. I see. It seems like Melba Ketchum's starting to try to play back into here. Like she's trying this again. I don't know. Do any of you know any information?
I thought I saw somewhere where she was taking money.
She had some kind of program going on. I know this past year she was asking for a lot of money. It was a fairly large amount. I don't know where she's going with that, but I don't know. There's been several podcasts. Podcasts. We've had one done, and the gentleman that we had on our show, I know some of the comments I've seen onto that podcast, some of the people didn't agree with him. They were calling my guest an idiot. Here he is. He's an educated guy, retired from the field, from what he's done. And they didn't like what he had to say, apparently. But, he wasn't the only one. Todd Disseltel was on another podcast show with him that pretty much broke it all down and agreed, they were in agreement with each other, especially on the show. It was on the show with Richter. Richter had a 2-part show with Dr. Haskell Hart and Dr.
Haskell
Todd
Hart.
Disseltel.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I had. Yeah, he was very informative. He broke everything down in lame terms when we had him on our show, and he was a really great guest. He broke down. I don't know if you guys are familiar. He submitted, and he did his own peer review. I don't know how familiar you guys are with that. He just recently posted the information. Carl Schuker did the editing for him.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Carl Schuker was picked as Cryptozoologist of the Year by Lauren Coleman. Also,
right.
So
that's pretty cool. But I have not looked or reviewed over the peer review. I do want to get a copy.
It's a free PDF if you look for it. If you look for Haskell Hart's review.
I got to remember where he posted it. I didn't share it.
I got to give a shout out to Haskell. Back in college, I took a course, physical science. Basically, it's like physics. He was the one that helped me, and I passed because of him. So shout out to Haskell.
Congratulations! Nice. That is awesome. Very, very good.
Nice. Awesome.
You deserve a round of applause for that.
So Haskell, if you're watching, thanks for making me pass.
Let's see there. Oh, okay, let's see. Hold on. Got a lot of stuff going on here on the live chat. Wow, let's see. Let me go back from the beginning. I kind of overlooked some stuff.
You can get Haskell's paper for free. Melba's you have to pay for.
Something funny there.
I thought Melba did it for free. I thought she opened that paper up for free because I remember we was talking about that.
She eventually did. Eventually, she did. I mean, probably after she got all that pressure, like, why isn't this free? Because originally, she people had to pay for it originally.
Yeah, because we was talking about that. I was like, I feel sorry for the people that pay for that.
Yeah, who was it? Scott Carpenter actually had on his website. He had, if I'm not mistaken, I think he had a link in the information for her peer review. that was on his site. What I forget the name of his site. It's been a while since I looked that up.
Well, Melba Ketchum caught a lot of crap, and deservedly so. I'm sorry to say. I mean, some of the stuff that she would say, some of the conclusions she came up with, she caught a lot of crap. I mean, she should have. She should know that this is not the way true science works.
While you were talking, while you were scratching the thing, it was right in your mic. I don't know what you were doing there. Sounded like you were a disc jockey, like on the turntable. Yeah. See, Dave. Yeah, on the live chat, Dave Stump said Melba is another crook.
Oh. Well, ask Alex Evans about Melba Ketchum trying to use her artwork. My good friend Alex Evans, Melba tried to use her artwork and not give her credit for it. So,
oh, you know what? You just remind me of something. That's something else I wanted to kind of bring up tonight. This has nothing to do with her. This is kind of off that. Dawn Peak. I don't know. I don't know if it's been resolved or not. Dawn Peak's always posting photos with information. And there was a group that he was in, I believe he's still in. He shared some photos. Some of them were some tracks. Actually, it was a track and a trackway that was associated with one individual track, and I believe that was taken out of Minnesota. And someone else had actually taken that photo and actually posted it as their own. And it was actually, I'll share it with you guys here in just a second if I pull it up right here. Okay, let me I'll do a screenshot. This photo right here is part of the trackway. And then
and how many times have we seen that in this field where somebody takes a bit of evidence and presents it as theirs,
Oh yeah. Like here's a track. There's actually another one. I don't think I can't remember if I took the whole picture, saved the whole picture to the rest of it. Here's the individual track with his foot next to it. No, that's
new season. Yep, there's a plug for Finding Bigfoot.
Yep. There we go. Yeah, I was gonna share that at some point tonight, but yeah, we got a lot of viewers on right now, so I might as well share that information for those who may not know. I'm looking forward to it. So, actually, while we're on this here, Shane, you do plan on doing an after show on this when this gets started?
The Finding Bigfoot after show will return at 10 o'clock that night. Now, is it a 2-hour special?
Yeah, this one here. Yeah, 2 hours.
Okay, so it'll be 11 o'clock.
It's going to be 11 Eastern.
11 Eastern,
yep. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so yeah, ladies and gentlemen, viewers, if you're not subscribed to Shane Bradbury, it's Looking for Bigfoot News Hour. Is that correct, Shane? Did you change anything?
I don't do News Hour anymore. It's just regular Looking for Bigfoot.
Oh, Looking for Bigfoot. Okay, you dropped News Hour out of it. Okay. Yep. Okay. Well, there you go, folks. Go to Shane Bradbury's YouTube channel, Looking for Bigfoot, and subscribe, so you can stay on top of his podcast shows and after our shows. Great discussions and great company.
And one thing about Finding Bigfoot, I mean, it's really easy for Bigfooters to overanalyze it and overthink it, and what happens is they throw out these criticisms of the show, and really what they should be doing is they should just appreciate it as entertainment and something that raises awareness.
Exactly.
Don't overthink it. It's entertainment. It's raising awareness. Look how many kids. Listen, I've been to the Ohio Bigfoot Conference 3 times since. 4 times since the show debuted. And the amount of kids that come to the conference, they're interested in the subject. A lot of them, they say it's directly because of Finding Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's just a TV show, people. Get a life.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I I like the show. Now, it is ran and operated by the BFRO, Matt Moneymaker. Well, I don't know if I know he's the founder of the BFRO. I don't agree with the BFRO. I mean, I have friends with the BFRO. I mean, but I am very cautious when it comes to the BFRO as far as any affiliations with them. But that's all I'll say about that. But again, I do like the show. I find it entertaining, and I like hearing the reports from when they do the town hall. That's the most exciting thing for me. So
I agree. Yeah,
yeah,
I love the town halls, and like I said, it's really easy to overthink.
oh yeah, um, yeah, because there's some of the people that they have on there that share stuff. Some of these people are at one time before they had their encounter or sighting, these were non-believers, and some of them turn out to be I find very incredible because some of them are educated, intelligent people with I guess you could say, like, for example, a police officer who is actually trained to observe a situation. So yeah, stuff like that I find very interesting. When you hear an officer that's sharing information, that's something I really stick with because I've actually had that. Um, I learned some information from a police officer not this past hunting season, but last hunting season. I ran into this guy out in the woods, and come to find out, he was a police officer, and he worked with one of my real good friends' son, who is a police officer. So, and he got to talking about some information. Some of it was local, some of it was a little further away. But I mean, I love hearing that stuff because it's encouraging too. So, um, and let's see. Oh yeah, what? I'm gonna get Nikki on here because she's sharing. I'm watching something she's saying on here on the chat. I guess she was observing something to do with what Dave Stump said. Because Dave Stump made a comment on here earlier saying something about they are not apes, and then there was a bunch of stuff. Something else. There was a bunch of stuff in between, and then she said something about right because they are not human. So,
Well,
so I was like,
yeah, I'm not going to say that people don't have the right to think whatever they want about what Sasquatch actually are.
right.
I mean, if you want to think they're apes or think they're human or whatever, go for it. It doesn't bother. It doesn't make any in their mind to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's always been a very interesting debate among many people. I think a lot of people are in agreement to one thing versus another. Then you got another circle of people that believe it's this, in a whole different world, But I mean, I think you guys may, I think it's safe to say, I think all you guys are on the panel. I know Shaky, I think will agree. I think we try to look at things in a more, with more logic versus more out of this world kind of thing. And when you try to debate your opinion versus those who think a little bit more outside the natural realm of things, they're like, "Oh, you don't have an open mind." Well, I mean, if apparently we do have open mind if we believe, or even if we believe in Bigfoot, even though some may not have had a sighting or an encounter, we have an open mind to be involved with this. I mean, so, but um, let's see. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sharing stuff with you, and I'm trying to keep read the live chat at the same time. But I don't think Nikki wants on here. She says something about no way, Jose. unless she was referring to something else. I'm not sure. So, so
But
Nikki, if you listen, if you want in, just let me know.
so also if people want to believe that these creatures, go in and out of dimensions and that they are more paranormal than anything else, that's their right. They can believe it if they wish. I'll tell you something about the event called Beachfoot. Todd Day and
Yes.
Niece, they they have they have speakers of all stripes at their event. They have the flesh and blooders. Then they have a few who are more in the paranormal mindset. Ron Moorhead was the final speaker at
Okay.
Beachfoot this year, and he is. I mean, he believes that the Sasquatch are connected with aliens, and they're more that they're more spiritual or more what do you call it paranormal. But
Right.
Todd and Diane did not immediately say, and he mentioned, and listen, he talked about this in his presentation. But I didn't hear Todd and Diane saying, "Stop the presentation. This is just way too crazy for us. This is way too kooky for us." No, they were very respectful. They may disagree, but they were respectful, and that's the
Right.
thing. We have to have respect. We may not agree with everybody's ideas, but base it's called basic respect, and we
Yeah.
need to have more of that in this community. And we don't need all this rabble rousing from individuals who try to be the quote unquote Bigfoot police. I'm looking at you, Steven Stroyford. No,
I think
I'll give you all the basic rundown on what happened with Steven Stroyford and why. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his anymore.
I could only imagine. Trust me, I've had my dealings. I think we all
Yeah.
have.
Well, Abe Del Rio and I, we have the MNBRT radio show, and for a 3-week period, we had Ron Moorhead first, then we had Scott Nelson on, and then we had Ron and Scott on. Now, when Scott was on, this guy named Ian calls in, and he basically insulted Scott. He just called him a name just out of the blue. It's like, well, if you have to call somebody a name, then you've pretty much lost the argument. I'm sorry, you have lost the argument if you have to call somebody a name.
Yeah.
So the following week we had Ron and Scott on. Steven Stroyford and this Ian guy were in the chat room, demanding this, demanding that. It's like, you don't demand anything.
Right.
It's like you have to have peer review. You have to have this. You have to have that. No, you don't. But anyway, I mean, look, Ron has already had the freaking recordings done with peer review. I mean, what more do they want? Oh, there was bias. No, it wasn't biased. Dr. Arlen Curlin was not a Bigfoot person.
Right.
And he looked into these recordings back in the 70s. I mean, it's I don't know what Stroyford's problem is. But anyway, and then he tried to say, because we kicked Ian off the show because Scott said he wasn't going to talk to the guy anymore. I don't blame him. The guy was being rude. And then we kicked Stroyford out of the chat room, and then he messages me saying we're censoring them. No, we're not.
Wow.
But then again, this is the same guy who a few years ago was having problems with BigfootForums.com, and he and he tried to claim that they were being Nazis and all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Good Lord.
Well, I know one thing. I will say this much. Some people, like we discussed on Shane's YouTube there show. Ryan Reedon, for example. Ryan Reedon more or less put himself in a position where he was asking to be attacked. Then on the other hand, you got people like, I'll use myself for example. I got called into a situation where people were screenshotting information from a group that I was not a part of. And yeah, it was a little disturbing, it was a little upsetting. I got over it. I said, well, I learned, you're gonna have groups like that. You're gonna have your little cliques that are they're gonna find everything wrong with you. I mean, but I don't know. I questioned Strufer a couple times on a few things, and he was. I was thinking he was kind of being straightforward with me about a few things, but at the same time, I guess you could say I felt like he was more of a somebody that was being your buddy for that moment. Then turns around as becomes he's a different person behind closed doors, I guess you could say.
Yep.
So, um,
I mean, for somebody to claim that we are censoring him, no, we weren't censoring anybody. We listened. We said if you want to call in, if you have questions for Scott or whatever or Ron, call in. Just don't be insulting and don't be an ass.
Right. Yeah. So far, I haven't had this situation. I know because when we do the radio show, I even announced the call-in number for it. I say anyone can call in, talk to a guest, whatever, or whatever it might be. So far, we haven't had that situation, but depending on who it is, I always keep my finger on the mute button or the reject button. That way, I can just get them out if any reason. No, I don't do it to you, Shaky. I don't care what you say. I'm just saying you never know what guest we might get on.
David, you know what's going through my head, don't you?
What's that?
Hey, yo, man, this is so from Detroit, man. What's going on?
What?
They called in from downtown Detroit that night.
Oh, yeah. He was. I think he called in on the wrong radio show. Yeah, I don't know where he was calling from. I don't know. Wrong ghetto show. That was funny though. Yeah, we had some random guy call in because Blog Talk Radio. It's the network. It's everywhere. And anyone who's subscribed to Blog Talk Radio, you never know who's going to get on there. Because and especially whoever the tags go out to whatever forums and whoever can find the tags and stuff. But how that works, but yeah, like I said, you never know.
Seen the squatch in the hood.
I'm sure there's some up there. But I wanted to bring Baltimore into something because I was reading something here on the live chat, and it's referring to Sasquatch. Miss Debbie was saying, or on here she goes by name Baylin. No, not her. I'm sorry. It's Geraldine. I'm sorry, wrong person. Geraldine. She said my father is Native American, and I grew up believing that they are a native spiritual being. Now, yeah, I was wondering if you wanted to share, your side to that.
For us, Bigfoot is basically considered the garden of the forest, and he's always been there. That's why when we actually see him, or even when we go into the woods, we actually give offerings to the spirit of the forest, to the garden of the forest. He has always been there. He has a special place in the forest. People has just now seen him since the 50s, 40s and 50s, and we've been seeing him for hundreds of years.
Right.
So, and the thing is, again, is that for us, we basically know how to respect the animal and respect his place where he goes into the forest. Because there's some areas in North America where people don't even go because that's basically his space, and we just leave him alone. And now people are actually trying to go find him and trying to go find, where he's at. Well, which is a good thing because we always want to find out. We always want to find out the unknown.
Right.
So again, for us, he's a garden of the forest. He's basically the protector there, and he basically sees everything that goes on there. There's sometimes when you go out there looking for Bigfoot, you may not see him, but he's around there. Look, he can basically see you. So.
All right, very good. I like that. And, I hope you don't mind, Baltimore. I'm just sharing one of your dress photos of it. I love your stuff, man. I love it when you do your your powwows and your dress up in Native American style. So
yeah. Baltimore. What?
Yeah, I know. Shane. Shane and Henry, and Don, I don't know if you're familiar with what Baltimore does. He's involved with a lot of outings and stuff. And he participates with different programs. I don't know. I was wondering if you wanted to kind of fill them in, kind of like share a little bit about what you do. I know one of the last things you shared that you did was it was some kind of you did it was appreciation or awareness for the veterans and stuff, and you also do things for showing young kids how to do survival techniques and stuff too.
We like talking about when we do our programs and anything like that. We basically talk about the way Native Americans lived many years ago. We just show him the tools and the artifacts that we actually use. I would love to take people out on outings just for them to, not actually go look for Bigfoot or anything like that. Just sit down and just listen to the forest and just listen. What else is out there. It's always good to be aware of what actually is in the forest. We like to. That's actually what my goal would be, just for people just to sit down there and just enjoy nature at its finest. I'm sorry, I'm not answering the question, but that's
Oh
one thing.
no, you're fine.
Yeah, but that's one thing that I really would like to do. Um, even teaching them about tracking. That would be an excellent thing. Not too many people know about tracking. Tracking
Absolutely.
is a skill. Tracking is a skill. Not too many people know how to do it. We actually have a Native American dance called the sneak up, and so that's basically on my dance is basically what I do is on my dance is basically like I track when I dance.
Right.
It's basically a skill. Not too many people have the skill, but there's some people that are actually born with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, like I said, I know I shared this with you and Shaky before, and I don't think I've shared this with Shane or Henry. And I'm not afraid to, admit to this, but when I'm out in the woods, and especially I'm alone, it's you could easily be more in focus with what's around you, and, because you can listen more carefully and observe more carefully. But one of the things I do, especially when I'm at camp, and I know this sounds crazy to some people, but I don't care. But I kind of get myself into this little rant. I do these little rants and chant. I start chanting and start doing. I'll start singing my own Native American stuff. And just chanting. While I'm standing around camp at night, or even during the daytime when I'm in the woods walking alone, I'll stop. And I'll start doing that. And I don't know what it is that draws me to do that, but I tell you what, it's kind of almost a peaceful thing. Yeah, it's awesome though. I don't know. It feels good to do it. I mean, but that's something I do, and I don't know. I don't know. I like doing it because it does. It seems like something does happen. Something you kind of feel like you become more connected, if that makes any sense. So, but yeah. I was wondering if you guys wanted to. I got a couple other questions here. If you guys want me to jump in on this, and it's from Debbie, which her name's Debbie, but I'm going to refer to her as her YouTube name, which is Baylin. And yeah, B. I'm sorry, she pronounces it. It's Beelin. She corrected me on that. Beelin. First question she has on here. It is. Hold on, let me clear this out real quick. Okay. Could Bigfoot or Sasquatch simply be creatures that are as natural to the earth as are the millions of other living creatures that live on this planet? Like look how ants, spiders, small mammals, rodents, rabbits, etc., plus elusive bears, cougar, and even deer are all mentioned. All I mentioned are perfectly adapted to this world and thrive, camouflaged and totally at ease. Being so, maybe we modern humans are the creatures on this planet. I don't know. What do you guys feel, or what's your opinion on that? We can start with you, Baltimore, and then I'll go across the panel from there.
Well, we all basically have a place here on Earth. We all do. That's God. I really don't know how to answer that question. Yeah. So we Native Americans believe that we all walk with them in a circle.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. We all have our places. We all have our places here on Earth. Man has his own place. The spirit of the deer has his own place. The bear has his own place. We basically have our own place here. So that's our mystery. That's our thing. Yeah, and that's the way that we learn from each other. I'll tell you like this. Have you ever seen a deer walk on his hind legs?
No, actually, I have not. I mean, I've seen pictures of them where I know they do that to reach stuff on trees and stuff, and they'll pull tree
Yeah,
limbs
but
down on the ground.
one day I was deer hunting, and I saw a deer in his hind legs. What it was actually getting a spider web that was filled up with water,
Oh,
and
wow.
that's how he was getting his water. And I was going, man. It goes, this is amazing. If I would tell somebody this, they wouldn't believe it. I would actually, I would actually see this.
Wow.
Deer do different things out there. A lot of animals do a lot of different things out there.
Right.
And a prime example is like right now it's a mating season for owls. And at like around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, they give you a concert. There's so many, and that's why we're supposed to have a good ear out for stuff like this out of nature. We have to know what the sounds that the animal makes. I told you before, a ring-tailed cat. If somebody has ever heard a ring-tailed cat, you could actually tell that it sounds like a squatch, but it's actually not. It's actually a ring-tailed cat, but very few people have seen it. I have. But it's being familiar with the animals that are out there.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Agree 100%. Donna, what do you have to say about that, Donna? She's muted. I don't know if she's listening. There she is. I see her unmute. Donna, do you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Say that again, though. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
It's okay. I said, could Bigfoot simply be creatures that are natural to the earth, as are the millions of other living creatures that live on this planet?
I believe they are.
Yeah.
I believe they're a unique primate, that has a very awesome look. And I have a question.
Okay.
They were talking about these people going to kill on that show or what have you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The person that's going to the person that's going to be brave enough to do this, I feel sorry for them because they're not alone. There's not just one. They may become the species that they're looking for. I don't know. I wouldn't go there.
So basically, you're saying the hunter could become the hunted.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in the middle of them, and I mean in the middle of them.
Yeah.
And no aggression ever.
Yeah. Well, see, that's natural with bears up here because here in Virginia, I've heard maybe two different accounts with black bears. Big, I mean, not talking about small ones, but massive black bears. So many years ago, there was a black bear that got shot but wounded. But you know what he did? That black bear circled and started tracking the hunter. And the bear, this is a 500-pound black bear that started attacking the one hunter. But luckily, the rest of his buddies were nearby, came down, were able to gun down the bear. But I'm just throwing that out there as an example because it's part of natural wildlife too. They do that because you pissed them off enough. You hurt them enough where it pissed them off. You only gave him a wound. You didn't kill him, so he's gonna come finish off. Take care of what's causing the threat. So
Right.
yeah, I think it's a natural. To me, it's natural. You know. So,
Okay. And another thing I want to say to Baltimore, if I said that right, I don't know.
yeah.
Okay. I think he's right about that Sasquatch knows. Like, for example, I never throw garbage out. I hate it when I see garbage on the land. I hate that. I mean, I hate it where people just throw their garbage out, you know? And as a matter of fact, behind my house where I had my first sighting, okay, I went up through there with garbage bags after my sighting and picked up every piece of trash out of there.
Mm.
I don't know if that helped me or not, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
And
Very good.
another thing I want to say that I noticed, and I haven't really seen all that many of them, but it's like they push the juvenile out to where you can see them while they're doing something else around you, either planning their escape or to help it escape. I don't know, but somehow it always seems to be the juvenile. Now, the first one that I saw was not a juvenile. I thought it was, but it was not. But after that, it seemed to be like the juvenile being put there where you could see it while they're sneaking around you. I don't know what that is, but I've noticed
Huh.
that.
Huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get you off your question.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. No, it's not a problem at all.
Okay.
All right. Henry, what do you feel about that? What's your opinion on that?
Well, I think that creatures. I think all the creatures, all all of your typical animals, they would have to be have that an autonomous way of living with nature. You'd have to have you know every animal in the forest has to be familiar with their environment. Every animal in the forest has to um, be comfortable in their own environment. So I think these creatures they have become so at one with their environment. That's why it's probably sometimes hard to track them because they know those forests much better than we do. They know where to hide. They know where to. They know how to hide. They know where to go. You know, there are places they probably know about that we're clueless. We're just clueless about, and that's why it's difficult to track them. And they are intelligent. They're very intelligent. They have a great deal of a sense of survival. They know that we are a threat to them. They know that we humans with the fire sticks,
Mm-hmm.
we can do major damage to them. So they do their best to avoid us. And I think that they are very much at one with where they live, and that's why it's hard to track them. So
Right.
I agree with Baltimore on them being sort of autonomous with nature. They really are.
All right. Shaky, you're next in line.
Mhm.
They're animals. They're monkeys
Yeah.
running around the woods. I don't know what else to say. They're not people. At least that's just my opinion. But everything I've
Yeah.
seen or heard or read or anything, it's just the monkeys in the woods that I'm not gonna say even intelligent enough, but they have uh, the uh, the instinct enough to stay away from us or to survive. And that's how I feel about them.
Hmm. Awesome. All right. Shane, what about you?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with Henry and Baltimore. They're here. They originated here on Earth. I don't believe that a spaceship beamed them down from another planet or anything like that. They are living, breathing animal.
Hmm. All right. Oh yeah. Before I go on to anything else, because there is another question, by David Parker in regards to Native Americans, and I'll get to that in a second. And pretty much that's, I guess, directed towards you, Baldmar. Um, but yeah, as far as I know we hear all kinds of theories about what Bigfoot is, what he's, what are his origins. We hear the different theories and the ideas of the possibilities of his origins and what he's related to. We hear the stories related. We hear a lot about evolution, the the branches of evolution. Well, I've stated it before. I don't believe or agree with evolution, but one thing I'm going to say, I'm not going to get into details because I'm putting it the new book that I'm working on. I haven't even gotten to this part yet, but I got all my notes, everything laid out that I'm using to construct my book. But there is going to be a very special section in there, and it's going to be my viewpoint, and I'm going to share why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm going to use what's supporting that, what I'm using as support, uh, to state what I'm stating in it. I think it's going to be very interesting. It's something I've actually kind of used a little bit of. Not many people have really heard me say much of it, but I'm gonna speak a little bit in my book. I am gonna use some science in it, but part of my book is gonna about I'm pretty much going against the grains of science in this one. I'm using science, but I'm going against science, if that makes sense. So, and this is where I'm gonna speak about evolution. I'm gonna speak about the origins of Sasquatch, what I believe he is, and what he's closely related to. Um, I think like I said, I'm not stating this for anyone to. Everyone can believe what they want to believe, but this is it's more or less for you to draw your own conclusions to help you understand. Um, the only thing I will say is, no, I don't believe he's someone from another world. I definitely don't believe that. Uh, but I think what I have to present, what I'm going to share in my new book that I'm working on, it's in agreement with everything that we're discussing tonight. But at the same time, it's going to be pretty well clear logic. Um, I think a lot of people, I think it'll be appreciated. So, um, because there's a couple things, in my opinion, where when it comes to evolution, there's some contradiction when it comes to evolution, and I'm going to explain that in my new book. So, but that's all I'm saying about that. I don't
I
want to
don't
give
want
nothing
to
away.
get on
So.
a religious tangent here, but Daniel, have you ever researched Bigfoot in the Bible?
Um, Actually, you know what? I have under one circumstance because I've had people try to push Enoch, and and Enoch is not a book in the Bible. Enoch is considered a lost book of the Bible, according to what research says.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but do I consider Bigfoot? As far as when it comes to the Bible, the only thing I will say, dating back to Noah, when the flood came about, every two creatures, both male and female, boarded that ark. Now, the Bible doesn't speak about what creatures, what animals. They did say anything from everything small to the largest,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
beast. So we don't know if Bigfoot was part of that ark that continued on to go forth elsewhere because even even scientists, a lot of scientists don't believe in the Bible, but they believe they're starting to find things that relate to the history of the Bible, from Noah's Ark to this and that. The flood that separated and formed other land masses. So um, so some scientists are actually considering or using some of the Bible related to
Mm-hmm.
what they're actually finding. Um, but yeah, as far as Bigfoot in the Bible, I can't say yes or no. Um, the Bible speaks of cave dwellers, but that actually, if you read on and continue with your research with the Bible, the cave dwellers were actually people that dwelt in caves. There was families that they mentioned, specific families that went and dwelt in caves. Um, but yeah, as far as the big thing when it comes to Bigfoot, that's kind of a very touchy thing. Depends on who you're talking to and how you're viewing that. So, you know, but yeah, I believe Bigfoot was a creature like every other known species that is here today. In my opinion, I believe he was there then. and he just continued on and survived through the years, But I know science has different opinions, different theories. So, but that's all I have to say about that. But I don't know. Did that answer you to what you were asking, though?
To me?
Yeah. I mean, did that make it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, I don't mind if you guys have questions for me. Yeah, feel free to ask me. I mean, I don't have to be the one always asking questions. If you have something to ask or you want to present to everybody, feel free at any time. That's why I'm trying to watch your live chat. But the one thing I do want to mention on here, because there was a question, I believe this was directed towards Baltimore, if I can find where it went, because there's a lot of stuff on here right now. I'm trying to keep up with it. It was by David Parker. Oh, here we go. This is actually an interesting question, Baltimore. Do Native Americans believe seeing a Bigfoot as being a good or bad omen? And it's funny that he asked that because I've heard people say if you see one, it's actually considered a blessing or a good thing. Okay.
Yeah. How many people have actually said that they actually seen the Garden of the Forest?
Right.
It's like for me, it's like we know a lottery if you actually see a Bigfoot. Because not too many people have seen it. It's a big blessing for that. It's very
awesome. Yeah, because I've heard that. I heard that statement before, and it's good to actually get that from another Native American to hear that, So that's a good thing. I like that.
See, the thing is, once I like to refer Bigfoot as the animal, and he basically knows who takes care of the forest and who doesn't. There's some people that made that about picking up trash. So this is his house. There's where he lives at. He's been living there for hundreds of years. And how do you like if somebody else comes into your house and throw trash there? This is one thing he sees. If you respect the forest, that's why when I saw Bigfoot, I've actually felt that that was a blessing for me because I was born and raised in this certain ranch, and then for me just to see it here not too long ago, for me it was a blessing because I knew he was there, but then he actually presented himself to me. Again,
wow.
It was just a blessing.
And I got a question.
Yes.
How did Bigfoot become a part of the Native American culture?
How did it? It was always there. We actually they actually have dances about Bigfoot. They actually do. There's some tribes that actually have a Bigfoot dance. There's actually they actually have seen it and actually painted them on walls, and they actually painted them on teepees and everything, or stones, or even pottery. He has always been there.
Yeah, much like what's that tribe? I think it's I can't remember what tribe it is, but they're the ones that have the painted rock in California.
Yeah, the famous hairy man picture.
The hairy man, yes.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and also too, Native Americans on their teepees have a smoke hole up there, and he's big enough for him to open up the flaps and actually see people sleeping inside. So he's see that's something that's why that's why there's sometimes he always peeks on people's windows and everything like that, because that's one thing that he's been taught. To me, juveniles have been taught by their parents. We teach our kids, to do's and not to do, and the adults basically, I believe they actually teach the juveniles, their kids, how to stay away from people. That's when the knocking sounds come. That's how their calls come. It's something that's been taught. It's been passed down, and not too many do people talk about that. They want to know what knocks are, what the screams are, what the whistling sounds are. They're just signals. And so that's what they ever been taught. The adults have to teach the kids that way, and the generation has been passed down.
Yeah, I was just curious about something, Baltimore. Have you ever heard of the legend of the creature that goes around with a basket on its back, picking up wayward children? Kathy Strain wrote that there were several tribes that had that tradition.
Yep.
And she wrote that in her book, Giants, Cannibals, and Monsters, Bigfoot and Native Culture.
I have not heard of that. I don't read that many books. I'm not too familiar with that. So.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now, I know in my bloodline we have what you call the Micmac Indians, which originated out of Canada and parts of Maine. I was curious when I first learned that we have Micmac Indian in that runs in our blood. I was like, well, I know it seems like every Native American tribe, from every different region has a legend of some sort. So I was curious. I did some research. I Googled, and I looked up the legend. There is a very large, hairy, Bigfoot-like creature, and according to the legend, it's actually described as a large female who kidnapped children, and that was cannibalistic. And that there, like I said, it's part of the Micmac Indian tribe. It has different nicknames to it. The Gugu, the Guju, and there's a couple more. So yeah, it's actually very interesting.
I've heard. That's in Kathy's book also. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
To me, that sounds like a different monster. That's not Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Because things, if you think about it like this, if this is actually again, it's a legend.
Right.
It's a story that's been passed down from generation to generation. And the thing is, again, if he does this, can you imagine how many children have been missing to this day? Because that's the thing. There's so many different stories like that. If something would happen, if a kid would get killed in the woods or something like that, they're going to be blaming the hairy man.
Yeah.
So again, it's everything depends upon legends and stories that have been passed down.
Yeah.
And you brought up a good point, and it's been passed down oral. There was no written history on this.
Yeah.
This has been passed down. Yeah. So there could be some kind of different stories from the original story that's been told.
Like a misinterpretation.
Misinterpretation, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's some stories that have been told in South America where they actually built their huts. The natives out there built their huts a certain way that the giant spiders won't take their children away.
Oh my goodness!
Right.
There's a lot of legends like that. So I mean, it's stories that have been passed down from generation to generation, and we don't even know how old these stories are.
Right. Now, like as far as when it comes to the Bigfoot, mystery or the Bigfoot being him or herself, I know some of us, kind of relate them to a primate, one of our known primates, and again to make a correction. I'm not saying they are one of our known primates that live like in Africa or out in the jungles or anything, but I know just from some history and some little bit of minor research, I know like in Africa, I know some of the wild, the chimpanzees and some of the gorillas, they've been known to come in and kidnap small children in the out of the African tribes and stuff. I mean, because it's as far as primates, they have some of our known primates have been known to be cannibalistic with each other as well. So I don't know. Some may interpret that as, well, maybe there is a possibility. Then again, like it makes sense what you were saying too. What we were talking about. It's been passed down. It could be a big misinterpretation, misunderstanding, because stories. A lot of this is folklore. But for those of us who have had encounter and found enough evidence, we know this is real. So yeah, it depends on how it's interpreted. So it could be a theory or a possibility that. But then again, sometimes I personally never read into Paul Paulides' books, The Missing 411, which I'm surprised I haven't, because that stuff really interests me. Because you hear about people missing, what happened to them. I mean, like there's a paper that's out in my research area. There's a flyer with a picture of a guy. He's missing. I don't know where he first ended up missing, but you wonder, did he get hurt or did something else happen to him? But I don't know. I'm out there all the time by myself. I mean, I never had nothing bad happen, but not yet. Knock on wood.
Well, the movie's coming out now, so you can watch the movie.
Wait, which one's that now?
Missing 411.
Missing.
Oh, there is a movie coming out.
YouTube.
Oh, I see. I was unaware of that. So,
Wow.
very awesome.
Hey, I got a question for Baldy real quick. Baltimore, did you have any luck with that barn?
No, I did not. Apparently, the animal didn't come back.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, he didn't come back. When I did the story, when they did that story about the B County Bigfoot, I had so many reports and so many sightings. And then I showed you the picture. Of my cast that I casted.
Yeah.
So that was here recently. So that was, what's that? Maybe like around 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And but I had actually, there was actually a sighting here 2 weeks ago. A gentleman actually saw it in the same area that I saw it at, but this one was a little bit shorter. It was actually like around 5 foot tall, all in black. So it's basically staying in the same area.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hey, I went out to get wood off my porch the other morning, and my wife sleeps right by the window here, and my freezer was pulled away from the wall about 3 or 4 inches. The door was open, so whatever did it reached up between 6 and 8 feet to get to that. Then it pushed my chair forward, and then it moved my grill. But whatever did it never came up on the porch.
Huh.
Wow.
I thought they moved on for the winter, but I guess they're still roaming around here.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Porches can be basically pretty high up, and if something's reaching up there, that's taller than a human. Whoa.
I live on the side of a mountain, Henry. So my porch goes from the side of the trailer, from where it meets the trailer is probably a 6 foot drop to the floor of the porch, not up to the ground, but from the floor down. And then if you go around the front of the porch, you're at least 8 feet. To the floor. So whatever did it reached up between the rails and actually pulled that freezer out, opened the freezer up, and then left it open. But
wow.
That's how I noticed it. And then I noticed my chair was pushed away from the rail. It wasn't pulled; it was pushed away from the rail on one side, and then my grill, really the highest point, 8 feet. You can see where the grill was pushed away from the railing there.
Oh. Well, I can't think of any other explanation for that. I mean, it sounds like a squatch to me.
That moneymaker. It's a squatch.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Okay. All right, let me get back to the live chat. I was replying back to a message. Let me ask you guys all something. Are you guys ready for the holidays here this weekend?
Yeah, we are. We're gonna be cooking for the whole family this weekend. And we got my sister, her husband, and my nieces coming over. Tomorrow we're gonna have some like hors d'oeuvres and stuff. And Sunday we're gonna have a big Christmas dinner. So it'll be nice.
Awesome.
And we're gonna open presents. We're gonna open presents tomorrow night. So tomorrow,
okay.
Yeah. Instead of waiting till Christmas, we're gonna do it tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna have a big meal here.
There's gonna be a war in this house.
Uh-oh.
Yep, buddy. Ravens play the Steelers. I'm a Ravens fan. The wife's a Steelers fan.
Oh man. Lord. Let me check up out here. See what we got here. I was told to please interview Kathy Strain. I sent her a friend request.
That would be, yeah. Kathy would be a great guest. We've been trying to get her on our show, Shane. We've been trying to get Kathy on our show.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, what do you say about getting her on?
Yeah, we can do that. That'd be the first of the year. Yeah.
She'd be a great guest. She is Kathy is one of the sweetest ladies I know, and very knowledgeable.
Mm-hmm.
She and her husband Bob are good friends of mine. So.
Okay. You know, actually, I think I do have Bobby on my. I didn't have her, but I think I have Bobby. Then again, I could be wrong. Let me look real quick.
Yeah, I did get a Christmas card. I got a Christmas card from Bob Gimlin earlier this week, and I sent him. I made one on my printer and sent it to him.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's of Harry from Harry and the Hendersons with a Santa hat on, decorating a Christmas tree.
Yeah, I got this Christmas card from a guy named Shaky. You guys know him?
Oh no, never heard of him. Never heard of him.
Man and Bigfoot.
It's gonna be warm here this weekend. It's gonna be like highs in the 70s. It's not gonna be cold.
I think it's gonna be around the 60s here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm disappointed.
3 of us over here from West Virginia, and I think we all three. Well, it's not going to be bad in West Virginia. I think it's going to be in the 40s, maybe 50s or something like that. Before I heard last.
I have
we have a little snow.
Yeah, it'd be
Who
nice
has the air conditioner on?
Yes, sir, I do. It's pretty hot. It's pretty hot in the house right now.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the ceiling fan on right here. It's comfortable though. Let's see what I got here. Oh, here's one of the things. This is from BigfootEvidence.com. I was going to read. Actually, there's a video here. Now the thing is, if I click to the video, let's see. I know you guys won't be able to hear if I click it through the BigfootEvidence.com link. But have you guys seen the latest link? Well, this here was from December 22nd, which was yesterday. Family shot and buried Bigfoot. Have you guys heard anything about this?
Nope. No.
This is a new link, and there is a YouTube video. I haven't clicked on it yet. This is a family had a Sasquatch getting aggressive, looking in the windows, causing trauma to the children. The family ended up tracking the Bigfoot down and shot the beast, then buried it to keep it quiet. The other Bigfoot stories are interesting too, so listen and enjoy. These stories are from the archive sent in from you all to hear. Oh, well, this is not new then.
I have a problem with that with what you just said.
Me too.
What's that?
They tracked it down. I don't believe you can track it down. I think that there ain't no way they tracked it down.
Yeah.
If they tracked it down that easy to shoot it, we'd have some good pictures of one by now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they actually track that thing down, they better hire them on finding Bigfoot.
Tell you what I'll do, guys. Right here over on our side thing here, I'll paste the link to that. There, I just posted that right there on the chat.
I can tell you right now, what you do in the woods, you're their game. I don't care if you got a gun. I carry a gun with me all the time. I carry, I got a CCW, but I carry everywhere. I just saw a video. I think it was either this morning or yesterday of paranormal something or another, which just showing a video of a camping site. They they had a camera set up, and they went back and they found this thing. You can't say that it's a Bigfoot, but you can see it's on 2 legs, and you can see this thing coming from tree to tree to tree, and it got up within 80 feet of them. And I mean, it was just standing there beside this tree. You can see its legs, and you know it's something there because it definitely moves. You know, in each film, each segment of the film, you can see where it's moved. So if this thing can come in within 80 feet of you and you not even know it's there, and there's 3 people standing there talking, you're in this game. You're in this neighborhood. You're in this. It's up to you whether you live or not. You don't have any choice. If that thing can get that close to you and you not know it.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Shaky, are you on your phone or are you on your are you on a? Oh, okay. Well, look, guys, I got over on the YouTube thing. I got a video pulled up. It's from that link. I was able to do a search and I pulled it up in the YouTube app here. It's by
That YouTube video is just a combination of stories.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if there was
Yeah.
anything worth checking out or not, because it's about the family shot and buried.
Is somebody vacuuming?
That's my laptop.
Oh. Oh,
Oh.
that's when we thought it was a Bigfoot howling that night.
Let's
I
see
thought
what we
somebody
got.
was vacuuming at first. I was gonna say, what the heck?
It was a while back we were doing a podcast. I mean, it's been maybe a year ago, and all of a sudden you hear this. Woo! And everybody's like, "What's that? What's that?" Shaking the whistle. It's my fan. Don't worry. Sound like FOMO.
If I could find it, there's something I want to share with you guys. This is very similar. I probably won't be able to find it, so I don't want to get excited unless I can come across it. There is a video, and I can't remember if this is one that you had on your show or not, Shane, but this one here that I seen the other day, it actually showed very clear details. I was actually shocked.
What was it?
I tell you what, I got it on my playlist on my YouTube channel. Let me go look that up real quick. I'll tell you exactly what it is. Like I said, you might know about this one, but when I viewed it on my computer, it didn't look like it looked a little different than what you shared. But this one here, yeah. Let me go to my playlist. It should be on my favorites here. Okay. It just says Sasquatch footage by Sparta Shield. Let me see if I could look that up for everybody, and we could maybe view it together here.
Do screen share.
Okay. Give me a second. See if I can find it. Let's see. I think I found it. It's a 2.25 minute video. Okay. All right, let's see if I can pull that up here. All right, I got it paused right now. Are you guys able to pull up your YouTube app on here?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me large it here. All right. Do you see what I got pulled up yet? I haven't pushed play yet. I was gonna wait for you guys to.
Wait a second.
All right.
Do screen share. Shit. That's viewing the live feed right now.
Okay. Give me a second.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, here we go. All right, it says Sasquatch footage, Sparta Shield. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, let me go into my YouTube here.
Okay, there you go.
All right. All right. All you guys see this?
Yep.
All right. Here we go. I know I don't know if the listeners will be the viewers will be able to listen to this, but
they'll be able to see it. They won't be able to listen.
Okay. Let me know. Is this the same one that you had?
No, we didn't do this one.
All right. I found this the other day, and I was like, I got to share this with everybody. But watch when they do the zoom in.
The hair looks like it's moving.
It does.
Yeah.
But wait till they do a zoom in on the footage.
Now that sounds like Thinker Thunker. I think it's Thinker Thunker.
It is. He's under a
yeah.
He's under a different name, a different YouTube channel. Look, the arms do look massive on this creature right here. Look at the details. I think that's showing pretty good details. Some of it looks white.
Look at the reach that thing has.
It's wide. It's not. If this is a suit, this is awful wide.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you look how long that arm is.
Yeah.
That's not a fake arm because it grabs that little tree in the very beginning. So if that was a fake arm, it wouldn't have grabbed that tree.
Nikki, if you're watching,
yeah, let me get on the live chat.
Do you have any clue, any backstory on this?
That's a whoa. If that's hoax or CGI, that's a real good hoax.
I don't. It's not CGI.
No,
guarantees not CGI because the hair is moving. The hair moves up and down. I don't think you can do that with CG. It's got to be really good CG for the hair to move.
I have to agree.
Yeah, because I mean, I honestly, I personally am not impressed with a lot of videos, but this one here, I'm finding it pretty compelling, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this one and the Mississippi skunk ape footage. Wow.
This one here, I don't like I said, that is Thinker Thunking that broke this down. So
okay, Nikki said basketball player, student film.
Yeah, Geraldine said student film. Yep, student film. But are we talking about the same thing, or they talking about something? And then Ron Dupree says, "Sorry, not buying it." Well, see, we could only go by what we're seeing right here. So I mean, where's the information coming from? That's what I want to know. Or is that just opinions? Because I mean,
Sean Bannon is the original.
Yeah.
Sean Bannon is the original. I think I remember that name. I think it's the same dude that did the other footage of the thing lunging at the camera, and I think it's the exact same suit.
That name,
Henry might know what I'm talking about.
That name does sound familiar.
You remember the footage, Henry, the one that we looked at, and it was like lunging at the camera?
Yeah, I think so.
It was brown and everything. I think this is the same one.
Probably is. But if that's a suit, that's a really good suit.
That's what I'm saying.
Suit's great.
If that is a suit.
Now, where's this on YouTube?
Yeah. Are you not? Oh, you're on your phone, aren't you, Baltimore?
Right. Yeah. Okay. Let me search it on YouTube.
Search for Sparta Shield Sasquatch footage. That's where you find
Creature from Sequoia. And I looked up Sean Bannon's website. He is a filmographer. He's a director.
Well, there you go. Wait a minute. You know what? I believe there was a bit of footage that was taken. This goes back over a decade. Of what appears to be something running, and then it jumps down, appears to jump downward, down the slope. This may be from that same footage.
Yeah. Hold on.
Whoop.
Now, what was the thing again?
Let's wait a minute. Okay, Donna just put the link into it in the chat room.
Okay.
Okay.
Check this out.
Hold on. What do you got, Shane? Let me back out of it. Let me stop screen sharing then, so I can see what you got. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know. This is interesting. This is an interesting bit of footage. I'll say that much.
Shane,
Hold up.
are you able to do a? Oh, there you go. You got it.
Yeah, that's the one. Creature in the giant sequoias. Yep. This is the one where it looks like it's jumping down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we did that video in Real or Not Real.
Mm-hmm. It turned out to be just somebody making a movie. So if that's from if that other footage is from the same guy, it could have been test footage for his movie. Yeah,
because Nikki said she's seen photos of the creature with the head off. I said, damn, because it looks good though. I mean, for real, that had me kind of convinced.
That looked like the same suit. See that last shot they just showed?
That orangutan.
Yeah, look like an orangutan. Yeah, look at that. Let's see. Yeah. You're really going to get that close up to a Sasquatch.
Man.
Yeah, you can get that close to it.
Yeah, this is the footage. This is the
footage. This is the one. Yeah, the guy's running, and all of a sudden this thing leaps down the hill.
Shane, do you have the option to present to everybody?
Excuse me.
Yep.
The whatever the guy, the actor in the suit jumps down the hill. That's what I should say.
Yeah.
Okay, Sean Bannon.
Everybody.
Same red suit.
Okay, SeanBannon.com. I see the. I'm going to go. Yep, that's the same guy. Yep.
This is the close up on the screen.
Yeah, I see now. Okay, because I clicked on Shane's picture to bring it up larger. Yep.
Yeah, this is.
So this is the same video too. See, that's the exact same video that you just showed.
Yeah, I see that. Well, it's funny that we just watched a clipping that Thinker Thunker was trying to break down. I know he didn't say either or, but he sounded like he was pretty convinced himself. You know what I mean?
There is why it's going to take a body.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because there's no way a video or a film or anything is ever going to be good enough because of that reason right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Shaky. Yeah, that is why it'll take a body. I don't like that. I don't like the idea of it taking a body, but I understand that it's going to take a body.
Well,
Right.
There's a lot of different ways to get DNA from that.
Yes.
Because on my area where I'm at, he likes eating the apples that I throw around, and then if we could put them like in a basket made out of barbed wire for it to reach for it and possibly get hair from that, or maybe even cut himself and maybe we could get it that way. Or maybe even a kill that the animal has actually eaten. I don't know if you all are familiar. The way that the animal eats down here, it's like a lair, and every time when he would kill a deer or something, he would bring it to the same area, like basically like every 3 weeks. The front legs of the deer would be broken, but it would always come back to the same spot. But it'll kill maybe around 3 or 4 deer and then move to another location. There's a lot of ways to get DNA from these samples. Is actually getting the samples to the people doing the DNA, because I know that costs a lot of money for that. But if they can actually say, hey, look, I found these. I did some investigations. I found this hair. wrapped around my bot wire made out of in a basket that have apples in it. Can somebody get samples of this hair?
That's not going to
So
work.
there's a lot of different ways to get DNA samples from an animal.
But that's not going to work.
The problem with DNA samples
DNA
is
going to
there's
come back
nothing
unknown. You have to have a basis. You have to have that DNA from that creature. You got it's going to come back unknown. It's not going to tell you anything because there's nothing to compare it to. You got to have the body to get the DNA out to have the base of it.
Now, didn't they?
If that makes sense.
Sorry.
Didn't know that in Canada that, and I guess it's the place was called Shoe or something like that, where somebody actually had a board underneath their door that actually Bigfoot actually stepped on it. That actually got blood samples from that, and there was some DNA on that.
They got blood and tissue because it was it was galvanized screws. It was a galvanized screw board.
Right.
And something stepped on it and left blood and tissue. But they really, it was too old and corrupted to really get anything useful from it because it had been out in the elements and things of that nature, and you know, it was basically difficult to get anything from it. So it was essentially useless, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, what Shake was saying, you know, yeah, we need something to compare it to. That kind of relates back to, not to get into the full breakdown and description, everything that Mel Ketchum went through. You know, part of what we discussed when I had, you know, with Dr. Haskell Hart, you know, the results were coming back 99.5%. Well, actually, excuse me, 95%, not 99.5, but 95% human. All right. Now, keep in mind, we're considered mammals, but the sequence was not complete. They were not finishing the sequences. They were not finishing it. The whole sequence was not completed because when the results were coming back 95% human, all right, you could take a dog and you could get 95% human off of a dog, okay?
Contamination.
Till you complete the sequences, you're gonna get the other. You know, you're gonna get a more of an accurate result because in a majority of what her results were, when they were coming up 95% human, the actual 99.9% was actually black bear. There was a couple that were dog canine, but you know, but I'm just throwing that out there as an example. That's why we do need a actual specimen for comparison to do a full complete study on. So
yeah,
I think that's where a lot of people were in error when like they were getting excited. 95% human, all right. I mean, anything with hair is considered a mammal. So I mean,
well, a chimpanzee's will come back 98 point whatever percent, almost 99%, because we share almost 99% of DNA with the chimpanzee, but it's arranged the DNA is arranged differently. So no matter what, we're going to have an animal. We're going to have to get that base reading off of, and then we can go from there. But without that, everything's going to come back unknown because there's not going to be anything to compare it to.
Yeah. Real quick, in the footage that we just seen, Nikki said, but the only proof on the clipping we just watched, the only proof she has is the family said he did it. But supposedly the man recently passed away. So, and then she goes on to say, so no way to actually verify.
Yeah, we discussed that last week on Real or Not Real.
Now, there's something that...
I'm sorry, go ahead, Baltimore.
Something that bothers me.
Yeah.
It's for me is that if they knew where they buried this body at, this Bigfoot body, because I haven't seen the story or the clippings or anything like that. I'm just shooting things in the dark. If I would have if I would have buried something that significant, I would have put a marker on it. I would have GPSed it. I would go back to the area and say, hey, look, here's the proof that you need. Where is it?
Right.
Because the thing is, again, I've actually have stuff buried in some areas, and then I have markers on it, and then something I even have sites, Native American sites that I protect, and I have certain markings on it. And the thing is, I don't even need a GPS to go to it, or I could go right to it. Why can't these people go right to it and say, "Hey, look, here it is. Here's the skull. Here's the bones." You could even get DNA sample from their teeth. So
Yeah.
Right.
even though it has been buried for so long,
And let's
you know.
not forget about the guy Bugs, who was on the Art Bell show. You know, he said he had a map, or he gave the map to Art Bell. You know, Art Bell supposedly had this had this map to this site where these two supposed Sasquatch were buried, that he had killed, that he and his friend killed and buried somewhere in Texas. Well, what happened was the DJ a few years ago came out and said, "No, that was me. You know, I was hoaxing. You know, no, not hoaxing, but I was
Pulling a prank.
pulling a prank. Yeah." So, and Robert W. Morgan for a long time thought perhaps there was some validity to it.
But
So,
Baltimore actually brought up a good point. When we do Real or Not Real, we always, hardcore on follow-ups. And you just brought up a good point. Mark the place where you're at so that you can go back to that area and do that follow-up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Does anybody else find a coincidence with this in Shmeha? Shot the Bigfoot,
boy.
buried it, and went back and got the thing later.
We had Justin. We had
Yeah.
Justin on our show. So
Yeah, I remember that because that was on Shades. I remember I was sitting in on that one. That was interesting.
So what do you think? He
You know what?
lied?
Well, I know one thing. This is my opinion because I'm sure Shane and Henry remember the whole time he was there. He was putting down a beer. I don't know how many he's been drinking, but he appeared to have one in his hand while he was with us. So I don't know how many he was drinking to help him tell the story. I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. He has nothing. He is pretty consistent with his story. He passed polygraph tests. So has other murderers and stuff. But so I don't know. It's kind of up in the air with me. It makes you wonder, really. I mean,
well, Bob Hieronymus supposedly passed 2 polygraphs also, and he believes right, and he believes actually that he was the guy in the suit in the PG film. So,
but as for Justin, I've never met him personally except for the time on the podcast that we had him, and he seems like a good guy. Just from the way we talked. But as for his story, it's up in the air.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Yeah, but hey, remember George Costanza says, "Not a lie if you believe it."
Exactly.
There's a reason why them things don't hold up in court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, let's court some controversy here. Let's talk about the Bigfooter of the Year from the Bigfoot Times newsletter.
Yes.
Stacey Brown Jr. Yeah. Oh
okay,
boy, a lot of us.
All right. First of all,
I've been out of the game for going on what? Ever since a couple of years ago. I think the last thing we did was in 2014. All of 15 we hardly did anything except for the finding Bigfoot stuff. So get me up on the speed of what the hell's going on.
Well, first of all, Henry, this is very new, right? Because I've seen it on Twitter, where Stacey posted.
Let's see.
He posted
I
it
do
himself.
have. I happen to have the newest copy of the Bigfoot Times newsletter. Here you go. Stacey Brown Jr. Yep, there it is. Bigfoot Times newsletter. Just got it today.
Not many people have heard of this paper. Apparently it's out of California. Is that correct?
It is the last remaining physical newsletter that you can receive in the mail on the subject.
Ah, gotcha.
There used to be several of them for several years, including Ray Crow's The Track Record. And there was one run by a lady named Connie Cameron called the Bigfoot Co-op. But
Yeah.
now the Bigfoot Times is the only one you can actually physically hold in your hand.
Yeah.
So, well, Stacy Brown Jr., we know about him from $10 million Bigfoot Bounty. And Shane and I.
We have him on. We had him on too.
Really?
We had him. You remember? We had Stacy Brown on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had him on a couple times myself.
We had Stacy.
I was going to say, I'm not the biggest Stacy Brown fan in the world because he seems to be a bit misogynistic towards women.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I definitely dig his music. I use it for one of my opening radio shows.
And I mean, he has said some things about Bigfooters that I'm not exactly a big fan of. But now the reason he was chosen by Daniel Perez for Bigfooter of the Year is because he had found some hair samples close to a trackway in Florida. And here is one of, all right, if you look closely, you can see one of the footprints right there.
Oh yeah, they're the one Stevie Street was holding up, Daniel.
Yeah.
One of the footprint casts. And there were hair samples found near this trackway, and they were tested by Dr. Todd Distel. We mentioned Dr. Todd Distel earlier, and also by Dr. Henner Fehrenbach. Fehrenbach said that they were bear, and Dr. Distel said they were from the Felid direction, which means a big cat, some kind of a cat.
Right.
But everything else on that weekend excursion is what mattered. Even a non-testable growl that came after Josh Watson returned to a Land Rover with dirty smudge on it that looked like a handprint. So this is the main reason that why Daniel Perez made this choice. And I mean, yes, his thermal footage is up in the air. It's very controversial. Maybe real, maybe it's not real. We have examined it here. What we've examined it on our show, Real or Not Real.
Yeah, we did.
And they had it on Finding Bigfoot.
Yeah, we discussed it on Finding Bigfoot. Yeah.
Yes, right. Yeah, that's it right there. That's the yep, that's it. So apparently, because of this apparently long trackway and hair samples that were found near the trackway, this is what qualified Stacy Brown to become Bigfooter of the Year. But really, I mean, it's not really an official title, so to speak. It's just one person's opinion. So,
Right.
But I want to hear what the panel has to say about this. I don't want to do all the talking.
Oh, I don't mind at all. I don't mind.
Go ahead,
I like
Henry.
everybody's.
Let it out.
So.
Well, that's the very first thing. I'm not too familiar with all the Bigfoot stuff that happens around I call it Bigfoot country. I'm just familiar with the experience that happened to me and the experience that happened to my the people that live around my hometown. And I don't. Once in a while, I look at the videos and I come to the radio. I'll be in the radio station, Daniel's radio station, once in a while. But I don't consider myself an expert. And then the thing is, again, is the stuff that I do is stuff that I try to help other people that have actually had sightings, and they're making sure that they're not crazy or that they actually seen it. They've been seeing this animal here since 1925 here and longer. And I had a guy come to a store when I did my stuff for the Corpus Christi News, thanking me very much because nobody believed him that he actually saw Bigfoot by the age of 10. And it'd been bothering him for years. And when the story came out, and he thanked me for it because nobody believed him. And then but I'm not too familiar with the Bigfoot world or anything like that. The only film that I'm really familiar with is a Patty film. I have a friend of mine that also came out in Bigfoot versus Science. That's also a real good friend of mine, and we compare notes once in a while. But he also, always tells me, well, you have to have it in a scientific way. You have to have a bond. And then so I'm thinking to myself, well, if I've seen this creature, I've seen this creature once. I had deep breathing experiences down creeks before. It taking wall hogs, and then that's when I actually casted my cast, knowing very well that this animal actually took it. Um, but like I said, I'm not too familiar with all these people doing these researches or anything like that. I could look at a video and say, well, that's pretty. It could be a hoax. It can't be a hunch.
Right. Well, Baltimore, consider yourself fortunate because a lot of us we get knee deep into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We get knee deep into this, and we hear all the stuff and all the rumors, and we pay attention to some of the stuff, the drama. Although I wish there wasn't any drama. But anyway, well, okay, Shane, what's your opinion of this whole Bigfooter of the Year thing and Stacey Brown becoming the recipient?
Stacey Brown. Let's see. Well, as for Stacey, don't know him personally, but we did have him on for the $10 million after show.
Yeah,
he seems like a cool guy. Like you said, the footage is up in the air. As for Bigfoot of the Year, was he the only one in the running?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean,
well,
Daniel,
is it did the guy just selected him just because of the hair and footprint, or is it like a online poll that people can take? And
I think what happened was Daniel Perez had asked on Facebook for input, like who should I choose as my Bigfooter of the Year? And that's what it was. That's what happened. He apparently I think it was Robert Robinson was one of the individuals who was part of the team with Stacy. Also, a guy named Jim Duffy, and they pointed that he had the most impact apparently in 2016. That's what they were saying. So, well, and apparently this is. I mean, like I say, as I said, it's a subjective award. It's not an official thing. It's like, but then again, I mean, how many awards in this field are actually really are not subjective.
Yeah.
I like Michael Cook's recommendation on.
On who?
You remember what Michael Cook said? I'm trying to find it now. What he said. I can't find it right now. There's so many comments under your post.
I cannot remember who. I can't remember what he said.
He mentioned two names. Well, actually three. I doubt I can find it. There's so many comments under your post regarding that when you put that out there. Hold on, let's see if I can come across it.
Hey Daniel, I'm gonna cut this short tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. My phone's about to die.
Oh,
And
okay,
guys,
not a problem.
Okay, Baltimore. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, well, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thanks for coming on.
Have a good one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I learned a lot from you all tonight. All right, you have a good night.
You too now.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I should bring this up. Is he still having relationship problems? Oh, Stacy?
I don't know.
Because I remember there's like that whole big thing on Facebook with him and his wife.
Oh yeah. I have no idea about that.
I don't think they're together because everything I see just he has his kids with him.
Yeah. He's been divorced or separated for a long time from his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the kids. Yeah, like when I've had him on the show before, he's like, yeah, I don't have the kids tonight. Blah blah blah, stuff like that. So, but I found that comment that Michael Cook said. Because right after you posted that, one of his comments were he goes on to ask, he said, "Are we talking about regular Joes who aren't funded by millions or on TV on a regular basis that do this on their terms, on their time, with what little money they can spare, that don't have fancy FLIR or drones?" He said, "Or are we talking about TV researchers and people that are funded? Nevertheless, whatever the circumstances are," he says, "I would nominate Daniel Benoit, and here's why." He said, "Dan hosts a weekly podcast talking to researchers and witnesses. He's out in the field researching several times a year, and he finds great evidence. Or we could have, here he goes, he mentioned Derek Randalls, who busts his ass for the Olympic project. Then he also mentions, here we got Todd Neese and Diane Stocking Neese for working hard and doing the very best that they can for the Bigfoot community. He says Stacy is also a great instructor. He works hard and doesn't give up when the going gets tough." He goes on to say, "Personally, I think everyone would agree our buddy Dallas Gilbert, which, if for those who are familiar, just recently passed, should be the Bigfooter of the year. He dedicated his life right up to the end to Bigfoot. He never gave up on his dream." And he finishes this. He says, "Screw it, Henry." He says, "Screw it, Henry May for Bigfooter of the year. I nominate you." He says.
Yeah, I saw
second the
that.
nomination.
That was pretty good though. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you hear about Stacey Brown. You see posts and stuff floating around. And it's not about, in my opinion, as far as anyone that's out doing what we do, it's not about who does it the most. I mean, if whatever he came across, if it landed him the spot where that recognition, because this is a newsletter that's which is cool. I didn't know nothing about it, so it does I personally, there's no feelings hurt, because there's millions of us, really, if you think about it. I don't know, maybe that is exaggerating, but there's a lot of people that do this. But not many people know about this. So, I mean, but yeah, there's all these other people that are, all of us. I consider myself a small Joe, like what he was saying. What are these, I don't know what you call us, as Richter calls us. We're just glorified campers. What's that?
We're
Oh, right, exactly. We're not. We're individuals. We don't have degrees like Meldrum or Bindernagel. We're not classified as these mainstream higher up biologists. Me, I'm just a regular high school graduate. I mean, I study. I do my own studies, but I don't have a degree. I mean, I may learn and pick up on stuff. It doesn't make me a professor. I mean, but some of us do dedicate our time. But there's a lot of us out here that go out here in the woods to explore. And I understand, some of us, like Richter refers to us, we're just glorified campers. Maybe so. That may have some truth to it. But but I don't think some of these people understand how much time we really do dedicate. That like me, I have a passion into this. So I mean, we're passionate about what we do. We love this subject. We love, it's fun. But we want to learn about it.
Yeah, I'll just say this. I hope nobody is misinterpreting us and saying we're bashing somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
No, we're not bashing. No, we're not bashing. We're just, listen. Again, this is subjective, and congratulations to Stacy. And I'll give credit where credit is due. And I mean, I'm glad that Daniel made his choice. I mean, my good friend Ellen Vorderstraw, she basically put a post. She said, I don't see any problem with this. This is Daniel's newsletters. Do with as he wishes, and he has made his choice. Whether we like it or not, I mean, that's it's not for us to say. We may have our own personal problems with certain individuals in the Bigfoot community, but
I think we can all agree.
Those problems,
at least it's not Rick Dyer.
Oh Lord, no, my! I was gonna actually say something on a serious note. Someone who is actually affiliated with Stacy Brown. Stacy Brown's a part of this individual scene. David Lauer.
Yeah.
Dave Lauer, I like that man. He's very awesome. He's a very simple, guy, and yeah, he takes his work very seriously. I mean, and Stacey Brown is a part of his group. So, but yeah, if I had a choice, if I knew about this, if we got the vote, I think that's something somebody in the Bigfoot community should come up with something where it should go out to every Bigfooter. That something where we could all subscribe to and be a part of. As a community, that who all of us who do take this seriously, and then we could all share our input together as one. And then, but when something like this comes up, I think we should have a large list. Everybody could nominate whoever. Or put so many in a lineup. Say, hey, we're gonna all these people nominated. Let's vote on them. So.
Well, the thing is, this is really, I mean, there's no plaque or trophy that's given to the winner. It's just, you know.
To me, it's just for fun, though, So,
yeah.
I mean, it is a simple, fun recognition that, hey, these guys, to me, something like this, it's good for awareness because you believe it or not, as well known as Stacey Brown is, there's some people that are like, who's that? Well, you don't get out, you don't look into this. There's some people that are just new and just now getting into this. So they're learning about who's who and what who to get involved with. So that's something else too. We need something to put more awareness on everybody.
Right.
That's part of why I like. I'm sure Shane will agree. That's why we like get guests on our shows. I mean, share the information, let them speak and share their information. And I love promoting people. That's why I like the radio show I do. I've had several on there, even though it's still new. Me and Shakey's had quite a few people on there already, and so I don't know, but that's me. Spreading the awareness about the Bigfoot phenomenon. I mean, and then learning about who people are. You learn from. I'm learning a lot from some of these individuals.
And also, I think it's important not to base. I think it's important not to base your opinion on somebody based on somebody else's opinion.
Right.
Find out about this person for yourself. Get to know this person.
Draw your own conclusions.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. I agree 100%. So, let's see. There we go. So yeah. Hold on one second. I was checking something out.
I was gonna say, has anybody in the live chat typed up on this?
Yeah, let me see what they got going on because I was actually on Messenger there for a second.
And by the way, hello to all our live chat listeners that are on Facebook right now. Hope you guys doing okay, and on YouTube as well.
Yeah, right now, well, we did have over 13, or it's down to 6 right now, according to what's on my screen.
Okay.
The clip breaks. Let me refresh the live chat here. There we go. For those still listening and tuning in, if you have questions for anything or if you have any input, please feel free to share that. Oh, hold on. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see. Let me back up. David Parker. He said he thought that clip looked convincing. Referring to the one I shared, the one we just watched there, but Sparta Shield. Then he goes on to say I don't know what he's referring to on this one here. It's something we must have been talking about. Excuse me.
Galvanized steel. He's talking about the
on the wire. He said will contaminate the sample. That's what he's saying. Yeah. And then Geraldine said, I read that rust and ore in metal can change human DNA. Now that's interesting. That is very interesting. All right, hold on one second.
Yeah. Well, if those individuals at that cabin had thought to, let's say, put that screw board under some kind of protection, or maybe cover it with a tarp or something like that, they might have been able to preserve the DNA, and there might not have been as much of a question about the the providence of it.
Hey, Henry.
Yeah.
I think 6 of us ought to rent that cabin for a week and go up there.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you guys referring to the cabin up in Alaska?
Snowgrove Lake up in Canada.
Oh, in Canada. Okay.
The Snowgrove Lake up in the province of Ontario.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up there.
I would love to go to the cabin that's on the remote lakefront there in Alaska. The one that some years ago that Meldrum and a crew visited.
That's it.
No, that wasn't Alaska. That was Ontario, Canada.
Was it? I could have sworn that was Alaska.
Yeah.
Nope. It was Ontario.
It's on the east side. Yeah, it's on the east side of Canada. It's up there.
The one where they had to fly in on a plane, a water plane? Oh.
Yeah.
Snowgrove.
Okay. Very interesting. Huh. Very cool. Let me go back to the live chat here real quick. Because I was replying back to a message again.
I'd love to go up there for about a week or two. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Let me pull something up here real quick. Bear with me here for a second. Close some of these windows I got going on here.
All right, it is past 12 o'clock. Merry Christmas Eve, everybody.
Merry Christmas Eve.
That's right. It is officially.
All you East Coasters, it is Merry Christmas Eve. That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Where are you, Henry?
I'm in Mississippi.
Oh, aren't you?
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like that. From Baltimore, yes.
So, yes. Oh, there is something else I wanted to share with you guys too. This is I'm going to share something. Let me go back out here. It's a sketch drawing. Maybe some of you guys might have already seen it. All right. I told them I would share it. I was impressed. This sketch drawing right here. Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Yep.
By the gentleman right here, Nate. He said, I did a Sasquatch sketch while listening to a few witness accounts. I didn't have a particular type in mind, just tried visualizing some of the descriptions in the pursuit of learning more. I'm interested to hear if what might be off or accurate. Granted, they are probably just as diverse in appearance as we are, even more so if there are various types or varieties. This here, I mean, for one thing, this man's talented in his skill of drawing. I had to share this with everybody. Yeah,
that's an amazing sketch. It really is.
I really think so. And here I did a little zoom in on this too. There he goes, a little bit more larger up front. So I love the features on this. Because I mean, it's just looking at this, imagining if this is what some of them really actually do look like.
It kind of looks like Patty.
Yeah, it's got the the cone-shaped head. The high brow, the wide flat nose. Now, everyone feel free to share your own opinion, but this here right here, it speaks to me primate, strictly primate. But then again, of its own kind, like its own species of primate. Like we have the gorillas, chimpanzees, the bonobos, the biliate. They're all known primates, but they're all of their own kind. This, to me, my opinion is, and that's where I stand on Bigfoot. That it has a relation to, but to me, it's its own kind. And also, again, in my own opinion, to me, I don't feel that it's human. So, but then there's some people that
it's entirely possible that we are talking about a species that is just unique to itself. It's not necessarily tied into humans or to other primates. It's just something that is unique to itself, a species that is and that's always entirely possible. I don't discount that as a possibility whatsoever. So, I mean, that's a very good sketch, though. I have to say, that's amazing. It really is.
Absolutely. I'll share some information with you guys very shortly here. I'm actually scheduling a radio show right now with somebody who messaged me.
Kind of looks like somebody I know.
Would you mind sharing that information? Who that might be?
Maybe it's Richter a little bit.
Who?
Maybe it looks like Richter a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And just for the record, I don't like him at all.
Oh, well, okay, yeah.
Well, don't be
Well.
surprised. Don't be surprised if you're in his next webcast.
That's fine.
Oh,
I just,
Yeah, well.
you never
Yeah,
know.
you know his mind never matter. I don't mind because he don't matter.
You never know who's gonna have there. One of these days, I'm gonna see my face in there. Who knows?
You're a homophobe.
No, ain't nothing to do with that. I just don't like the way he acts. I don't like the way he talks about people. You know, if he's got a problem with somebody because of their research, that's fine. I ain't got a problem with that. I watched his video and I saw him make fun of somebody because they were fat, because of the way they talk, the things they couldn't help. So to me, you know, that's just I just can't stand it. It's a bully. That's why I don't like him. It's not the fact that if you don't like somebody researching what they're doing or how they're doing it, I don't have a problem with that. That's fine. But I don't like the way he talks about people.
Yeah.
well, I mean, I think perhaps somebody could take it that way, but they could also take it that he's taking the piss out of people. It's all satire, you know.
But opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. Some stink.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
You know, I didn't have my sound effects lined up. I was
Okay.
gonna pull one
Put
up.
your little drum roll in there.
All right, hold on here. Oh yeah, I do want to throw out there another reminder again. January 6th, Don Peak is going to be returning to Squatch Zone Radio to share all the information and all the details about his Bigfoot conference, Bigfoot and Dogman conference, for May 20th of 2017. It's going to be in Louisville, Kentucky. He's going to get into all the information, all the details, all that good stuff. So yeah, he's going to be on. We're going to talk. You know, I'm sure it's going to be a little bit more than just talking about the event. But I think a good part of it's going to be covering the event. I'm sure we're going to get in there and talk about a few other things because he's been having a lot going on. So yeah, definitely don't forget, set that reminder to tune in on Squatch Zone Radio. The link is already set up for that event, that show, for January 6th. Again, at 10 p.m. All our shows are Eastern. Well, of course, for us, me and Shaky, it's Eastern time. What time is it for you, Henry?
Right now it's about 25 after 11. So.
Oh, okay.
Central.
So you're so you're only an hour behind us. Okay,
Right.
That's awesome.
Okay, Donna.
Roll somebody.
I was gonna say goodnight, Donna, but she took off. She said goodnight on the chat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm just confirming another Squatch Zone radio show for this Friday night, the 30th. This is new. This is just now coming in. All right. Okay. Well, it's confirmed because it was recommended that I contact her and everything, and I got it scheduled. This Friday, the 30th, at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys want to help interview Miss Kathy Strain with us?
Sure. Yeah, that'd
I'll
be
be on.
awesome.
I think it'd be
Yeah.
great.
All right. Awesome. This Friday night, 10 p.m. Well, she's going to be on Squatch Zone Radio. Now, do you guys want to jump on like me and Shaky do? I mean, just like we're on the computer now, you have your option. You could I could send you a link to your email where you can go in and participate. You could click the direct connect or you could call in through your phone, whatever is more convenient for you guys.
Direct Connect. Yeah, let's use that. Yeah, that sounds
Okay,
good.
absolutely.
If
So yeah,
I can use the laptop, whatever the link is for the laptop.
Just
okay.
make sure, Daniel. Just make sure to send me a reminder because I might forget.
Oh,
I
not a
might,
problem. Not a
yeah.
problem.
Just send me a reminder. You know.
I think I got Shane's email address. Just Shane Bradbury at gmail.com.
162 at Gmail.
16. All right, Shane Bradbury 162.
Send your hate mail to that address.
Do what now?
I said send that hate mail to that address. Any
Send the hate mail
you
to
got.
that address.
Yep.
Okay. Henry. Yeah, when you get a chance, just send me your email to my Facebook Messenger.
I will.
So
Yeah, well, it's in the
yeah.
chat. It's over here in the chat. Look in the chat, right there.
Okay.
There it
Awesome.
is. Yep.
So it's definitely confirmed this Friday night,
Awesome.
December 30th. We got Kathy Strain with us. So.
Yes, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be a great show.
Yeah, so when I'm done with this, I'm going to jump on and set up the link for that show on Squatch Zone Radio. So it's official. We'll get to talk to her and hear about her encounters and all that good stuff. So
Oh yeah, she's great. Kathy's great. She's always a great guest. And I'm looking forward to it because I saw she and Bob at Beachfoot. She and her husband, they were at Beachfoot this past summer.
great.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good. You know her, and that'll be helpful to her. I'll actually share that information with her too. So or either that you can message her, say that way she'll feel more comfortable. She won't feel awkward with total strangers. So let me all right, there we go. Tell you what, I know you guys are probably getting tired. I know it's getting late. I'm gonna jump to the live chat real quick, but do you guys have any other information that you want to share with?
All right, Finding Bigfoot After Show will be back on Sunday, January 8th at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, we're going to do a special. It's a Mothman special on Friday the 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I'm making note of that because I want to be there for that. That should be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be.
All right, Mothman, Friday the 13th. That's actually, you couldn't have a better day for something like that.
and a bit of Mothman related news. That's going to be the next project from Small Town Monsters with Seth Breedlove and company. They're making a Mothman movie.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Creature Replica is confirmed. There's going to be a Mothman figure in Series 2.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I just mentioned to her that I said, yeah, Henry May will be with us too. She said, cool, I know him very well. So
excellent.
Yeah, then I mentioned Shane. She's that nerd. I said, yeah, no, I'm just joking.
I know you
I'm just joking. I'm joking. No, Henry, she told me to tell you to say. She said hi and Merry Christmas.
Let's tell her same back to her.
So.
Also, like my new Facebook page, The People's Media. All right.
Yes. The People's Media.
Woo! I am working on a show for the YouTube channel. It's called Not Mainstream, where we're going to discuss all of the mainstream, not the mainstream news, actually. So,
hey, yeah.
That's
details
awesome.
Will be posted on Facebook.
And I wouldn't mind being a part of that, Shane. By the way. So.
All right, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'll be glad to jump in too, because I tell you what, I've been confronting a lot of these people that are on my Facebook page, sharing. These are people from the left, what we would consider the left, the far left.
Yeah.
I mean, they're sharing fake news, and it's pissing me off.
Yeah.
This is why not mainstream. This is not going to be fake news. This is going to be real news. This is not going to be. It's not CNN. It's not Fox News. It's not MSNBC. Not mainstream. That's why the show's called Not Mainstream.
Right.
So yeah. So I'm So that's probably gonna be at the first of the year.
Yeah, because a couple of these links, there's so many of these different news links, online media news links. I've researched several of them. I mean, yeah, give or take, there's been a couple. Even the ones I find more credible, believe it or not, are the ones that are, you know, the ones that actually say positive stuff about our, president-elect and everything. The ones, the ones that are, the one, they all have negative stuff, or a couple of them there have been, this is fake news. This is only created by what it is. It's people's opinions that are turning it into actual facts. They're just people's opinions. So on what could be happening, and it's no facts in it involved whatsoever. And I was like, people are taking and running with it. I said, this is unbelievable. I mean, it's no different if me and you created one of these links and said, well, started a rumor saying that this is what this is, and we could be lying about it, and people will take and run with it. That's the same thing what these people doing. Yeah, so it's people got to wake up and stop jumping on this stuff. It's a shame. Do your research on what you're reading or who you're reading it from. I mean, that goes for me too. If you don't know me, research me. I mean, I don't want you to take my word for it. Do your own research. But so.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about doing this like on a Wednesday night, if you guys are free.
Yeah, I think hopefully this overtime's been cut out soon here. So like what time are you thinking about doing it? How early?
Probably around 8 or 9.
Okay. Yeah, I could probably swing that.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's why I usually do the Friday night shows or usually late at night because, I figure everyone's home. They don't have to get up the next morning. They can sleep in, all that good stuff. So. And, plus it's early, for people on the West Coast, it's early for them, so.
Yeah.
So it works out either way. But so, yeah, well, again, December 30th, we will have Kathy Strain with us. And then our next show from there on, January 6th, Don Peak of Don Peak's Wilderness Adventures. So, and Shaky, have you and Lael, have you guys had a episode out, a new one yet?
Nope. I have a technical issue that I cannot fix right now. I don't know how to fix it, and everything's on hold.
Uh-oh. What kind of issue would that be?
We use Skype, and I have this recording thing for Skype, and now it's not hooking to Skype for some reason. And when it does, it only
you got that recording thing for Skype. You're gonna have to download the older version of that recording thing because that's what I did. I updated to the new one a while back, and it wouldn't record.
Yep, that's what happened, and I don't know how to get the old one now because they've updated the whole new one.
So what I did is I went online and found the older version of that Skype recording.
Oh.
Yeah, so you're just gonna have to go online and find the older version somewhere.
Yeah, do a search on it and find it and download that. Try that.
Yep.
See, you might.
As soon as I updated, it would record a video, but no audio.
Oh man. Well, hopefully you can get that worked out. Yeah, maybe try try what Shane suggested. Yeah, find the old one. Yeah, that way you and Leo can get back on track with that. So, and you have that show. When you get that going, you upload that on your YouTube channel, Porch Talk with Lael and Shaky, or Shaky Lael.
No, Porch Talk is my own. Porch Talk. I have Porch Talk with Shaky Jr. That's just me running my mouth sitting on the porch when the weather's nice. And then Lael and I do the show called American Legends and Myths with Lael and Shaky.
Okay, awesome.
By the way, I wanted to point out this is you see the Beast of Boggy Creek hat,
yes.
Wild Blackbird. He's got these available on the website. Also, that's poutmonster.net. He also has the officially licensed Legend of Boggy Creek T-shirts.
Nice.
So I'm going to try and get one after the holidays. So
and he's not one big enough for me.
I'm sure he has.
But next year is the 45th anniversary of that movie, of the release of that movie. So it'll be a pretty big deal. Plus, Lyle has a new book coming out called Beyond Boggy Creek, which will be coming out in February. So,
actually, talking about movies, I have to ask you about a couple movies. One movie I still haven't seen. I haven't ordered yet. I want to. But what about the movie Something in the Woods? How is that?
it is great. I saw it at the Ohio Bigfoot Conference where it had its worldwide release, and it is tremendous. It's more it's PG. It's definitely family. It's family friendly.
Right.
So if and the suit in it is really well done. Also,
Okay.
the suit they used in the movie for the creature is really well done. So my good friend Mike Hall is in the movie. He's also a producer.
Okay.
I happen to have an autographed DVD, which I got him to autograph at the Ohio Bigfoot Conference this year. So Mike's a good guy. That's sitwmovie.com. It's going soon it'll be available. I think it's going to be available on like Netflix and Amazon and all that before too long for
Yeah.
digital download and things of that nature. So anybody who wants to see it, they can see it that way.
Okay. And here's another question about a movie. I didn't know nothing about this until somebody asked me about something, and I looked it up. I don't know if it got dropped or whatever, but I thought it was supposed to come out this coming year. But isn't there a movie that's supposed to be involved with Les Stroud? Something to do with monsters or
Oh
a
man, that's
monster
got
or
a lot
something?
of people in it. That's Stacy Brown Jr., Rick Dyer, a whole bunch of them in that thing.
Yep, they are. I saw the trailer for that. Yeah.
Now, somebody said this looks like a comedy, but I don't know nothing about it. I'm just I'm trying to get some
Yeah,
information.
it's kind of a horror comedy type thing. That's what it is.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, Stacey Brown is in it, Rick Dyer, Les Stroud. Yeah.
Ah. Huh. So it's yeah. As far as the trailer, you can't find the trailer on YouTube no more, from what I heard. So it's
That's
there's
weird.
links. Yeah, there's links and information about it I found, but I don't know what's going on about it right now. If it's something supposed to be being released this coming year or what. So
I think it's supposed to be released early in 2017.
okay.
So,
I've got a trailer. I have to go back and look for it. Stacy sent it to me somewhere in my
Yeah, because the person that asked me about it had mentioned it used to be a trailer for it, but it can't be found no more. So yeah, there's something. The reason they took it off, they took it down for some reason. I don't know what the reason was, but not really sure. It sounds familiar. It sounds like I might have seen part of that trailer before because the way they described it to me, I said it did sound familiar. So, and Nikki was saying, because when I mentioned about, I'm sure you guys might be tired. She said she's tired. It's only 10:30, whatever, where she's at. She's down in Texas, so.
No, it's the same time.
Time zones, Nikki. Time zones.
It's the same time there. It's the same time there as it is here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I don't know why she's saying 10:30. I mean, unless you went back to New Mexico or something.
Oh, I don't know. Let me double check. Make
She's
sure
in
I
El
look.
Paso.
Yeah, she said 10:30, and she posted that at 12:28 up here. So, yeah, she could. Does Texas? I mean, it's a big state. Does it fall into two different time zones there?
Maybe it does. I don't know.
Yeah, it falls into two different time zones.
Yeah, because she said
does.
she's on the. Okay, she said she's on the border.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yep.
So it's an hour behind. So she's an hour behind even Central Time Zone.
Yeah, because she's on. Oh, she says she's on the border of New Mexico and
Mountain
Texas.
Time.
Yeah.
Eastern Central
okay.
Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know. Okay. Well,
She's actually not far. She's actually very close to Robert Dodson. Robert Dodson has property in New Mexico and wait, no, that's Oklahoma. I'm sorry, I'm getting things. Yeah, because he has like 100 acres in Oklahoma, and then he's got property down in Texas too. We were gonna try to get Robert Dodson on the show. We tried to get him. I tried to do a YouTube thing with him before, and his audio was awful. I don't know what it was, but I might try to reschedule something that get him on a show, radio show, because I've seen a lot of his footage. It's very interesting. Nikki finds it very interesting too. But
You know who
he's
should have
got
won that award?
who's that?
The one that the Stacy one. I know who should have won that award.
Who's
Wayne
that?
Wilson should have won that award because that award is just a damn dumb as bitchy as he is.
Oh my! Oh, you know, I got a picture I can share real quick. I need to share this with you guys. Hold on. I know I shared it up here. Hold on. Oh, don't tell me I didn't post it. I'm going too far up. Where's it at? I know I got it. Let me check over here. Tell you what.
Pictures of his trees.
Yeah.
Gosh, how many pictures have we seen of people posting pictures of trees? See, there's the Sasquatch right there. Yeah.
It's a stump squatch.
I'm blind. I can tell you that, man. I lost these trees.
And I mean, all that basically all it is. That's just pictures of trees. That's all it is. Yeah, just nice pictures of trees.
You're gonna have to circle it, people, with the big red circle so we can see it.
For them circle squatches, I've been unfriended people because of the post and extract.
All right, here's one right here. I'm gonna pull up for you guys. This is from Wayne Wilson.
And of course, we talked about last week. We talked about the Ryan Reading picture.
Right here, he says, "Here's a couple more right here in this photo."
Yeah, it's a nice picture of a tree or something. Or
no, I see 6 squatches right there, people. Gee. One in the top left corner, one in the center, one on the top right, one on the bottom right, one on the bottom left. And there's a little itty bitty one right there in the center, right next to the other one with the center.
All right, here's another one.
Shane, the moonshine must be stronger down in your part of West Virginia than it is up here in my part.
It is.
Okay, they watch me all day and night. Yeah, you know that your window, your blinds are closed, dude.
Your blinds closed, people. You're gonna have to if they watch you, you're gonna have to raise your blind up.
Oh my!
Did you close your blind because they was watching you? Oh God! I gotta close this blind.
We got voyeur squatches.
I had to share that with you guys. I mean, let you know what's floating around social media that some people don't know.
Them damn Sam squatches, they be watching me through my window. Bunch of perverts.
Hey, look, when Daniel got him on the radio show, Daniel started asking him questions, and I was pretty blunt about things. I don't bite my tongue about shit. I'm an asshole, but I used to ask him, "Damn, he didn't get mad. I knew I should have come on this show. They warned me not to come on your show."
Oh Lord! I was like, we just want to understand you. I mean, that's basically what it was. I mean,
yeah,
we want things to make sense to us.
They tried to understand Ted Bundy and John Game Lacey too.
Oh.
Come on down here and take a look at my squatches. Yeah, they be buried in the backyard.
Here we go. I got something for you guys. All right, let me pull it up here. Where's it at?
Yeah, it's like, damn Sam Squatch.
Oh, I see one right behind him. Sam Squatch is right behind him. Right there, peeking through the window.
I might need to borrow his glass to see some of these squatches these people are seeing.
Oh my. That's funny stuff right there.
We're so mean.
I know. But it's what makes it fun.
Don't post this stuff in public.
Remember in the movie, what was it, Billy Madison? I'll tell you what it was. It was that damn Sam Squatch.
Yes.
Oh yeah. The old lady said that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who ate 12 kids packed lunches? I'll tell you who it was, that damn Sasquatch.
That was great.
And then I like the shot. And then they cut to Chris Farley and Norm Macdonald eating the lunches.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh Lord.
Do you all remember that show, American Hoggers? Did you ever watch that?
What is it called?
American Hoggers. It used to be on TV. But Jerry Campbell and his family did those hogging out in Texas. Well, his daughter and his son were getting these wild hogs too. Well, there was a falling out, and the daughter and her friend went off on her own. So she goes to this ranch, this farmette place or whatever, and the lady and the guy are there. They say, whatever you do, you can kill all the hogs you want, but just don't hurt our Bigfoot.
Huh.
Hey, they were like, what? Yeah, she said, yeah, we come out here. They were doing whoops in the woods, trying to get the thing to whoop back. Yeah, I was on a
American Hoggers, the two girls, you said those are the daughters?
There's Pistol. Crystal Pistol.
That's funny. Don't hurt our Bigfoot.
Yeah. You kill all the hogs, but just don't hurt our Bigfoot.
Yeah, guys, we better wrap this up because it's getting.
Yeah, sometimes
That's the one. That's the show.
yeah, American Hoggers, yeah.
Yep.
Pretty cool. Where are they out of?
Texas.
Oh, Texas, okay.
Yep.
Very cool. Well, yeah, I'll tell you what, guys, this has been a great night. I'm glad you guys came on and joined in.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Fun. Thanks for the invite. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I will definitely send you a reminder. Yeah, like I said, when you get that's right. Hold on, it's over here. I'll have to copy it and save it before I get off here.
Oh, those links that I gave you was the YouTube link for the People's Media YouTube channel and the Facebook link.
Okay.
And then the show is going to debut on January 11th at 8 p.m. Not mainstream.
Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, you hear this, be there.
Basically, we're declaring war on the mainstream media.
That's right. Someone needs to speak up about it.
CNN, Clinton News Network.
Yeah. And make sure you're tuned in for look out for the link for Squatchstone Radio this Friday, December 30th. We will have Kathy Strain. We'll be talking about her Bigfoot encounters and get some information and learn about her. So this should be a good show. And then we got another one lined up the following Friday. Well, the January 6th to be exact. It will be the next one after that. So everybody, thank you very much. God bless. And it was great having you guys here. And we had a lot of interaction and viewers.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Be safe and Merry Christmas to everybody too. So.